Morning everybody, and welcome back to another vlog here on JTD Farms. So this morning we are already busy, so I've just popped home, but the tractors are already out in the fields. We'll make our way from the house and we go down the track, and then we can go via the road, but it's just as quick to go to come this way. So although having said that, I would have been better off going via the road this morning, but because we're going to see Stephen. Now Stephen is the local contractor, and he's someone that we've started to work very closely with, because the one thing that we found with sort of trying to move the business forward and trying to grow and develop is that you need good people around you, and you need people that you can rely on, that you can trust, and that you can build good relationships with. Now I just need to go down here for a second, because so I'm in my truck this morning. The truck you see me in the other day is the farm's truck, so that's for anyone on the farm to use. This is my personal truck, but I just want to go and, as I say, I want to pop and see Stephen, but I also just want to come in here because, yes, we've started potato harvesting today. So it's about 7:30 in the morning, and it's a little bit too wet to start combining. Now, we had a good week last week. It did rain one more time last week, but only for probably a couple of hours shower. But what I'll do is we'll go and see Stephen, and then when I get back into the truck, I'll take you around what we harvested, and I'll take you as well, because Ruben's back out on the Challenger today, and Dad and George are on potato duties. So we'll go through the yard, and as I say, we'll go and see Stephen, and then we'll show you what we've been doing. We've certainly got on since the last update. I would like to do more updates, but hopefully you can appreciate we're extremely busy at the moment, and we're still a very long way behind. So updates are sort of wanting to be done, but and are not able to be done as and when I want to, just at the moment. But we'll, as I say, we'll go and see Stephen. We have now drilled the mustard, by the way. So if I just pull up here quickly. It's alright, Stephen expects me to be late, it's fine. It's not good when someone says that, but yeah, so we drilled the mustard, we got it rolled, and as you can see, we've now got lime on it as well. So we're just waiting now for the mustard to chip. We've also as well put some pre-emergent on, so that's been done as well, and that's been done on all 3 fields. Now I need to a bit later on in the day, when we get round to it, because I'm hoping that Ruben's going to have got a little bit more done, but he's only just started in there today, because as I say, we've been busy with other stuff as well, and drilling and rolling and spraying, and as I say, we're sort of doing potatoes in the mornings, before it dries out enough for us to go combining. Now again, the weather is pretty hot at the moment, so we're going to find that it's not going to be many hours before we are up and running and harvesting. But as I say, I do need to go and see Stephen, so I'm going to turn the camera off here, because he might not want me to record, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, so back again. So I've been and seen Stephen, and he is coming down to have a look at the sugar beet. So Stephen, as I say, is a local contractor, and what Stephen does for us is he does all of our... We'll just park here. I'll leave the truck running. Right, you've got to brave the hedge, unfortunately, because at the moment we've got no way of getting through. So you have to brave the hedge. But yeah, we'll just pop and see Ruben. As I say, we sent him this morning subsoiling, well, Simba Solo in this field, and to be fair, actually he's getting on very, very well in here, so I'm very pleased. But as I say, these fields here are coming rape now. It's the rape that I want to that I am a little bit later on going to talk to you about. Should be somewhere here. Let's have a look. What we'll do is we'll have a ride back, and then we will get back in the truck, because I don't think it's going to be too long before another potato cart arrives on the farm, and it's my job to load the potatoes. But as I say, I had to pop home to get my overalls, because I hadn't quite envisaged how dusty it was in there. So yeah, I had to go and get my overalls. But so we can see Ruben, he's all the way down here. So not a huge field. That one's a pretty big field. It goes, obviously you can see all the way into that sort of corner up there, all the way back up the hill up to that road. So for those of you wondering why for a relatively small farm we have big tractors, these hills are the reason why we have big tractors. They're hard going sometimes. Now we've got to be a bit careful, because Ruben, a bit like George, doesn't want to be on camera, but hopefully we will we'll be able to have a ride, and as I say, we'll just have a little look at what he's doing. So it's going, as you can see, it's going very well. Very pleased. And as I say, this Challenger, it's a bit of a workhorse, and you know, it's sort of had a lot of use in the time that we've had it on the farm, but it's well worth the money that we paid for it. And I guess one day we're going to have to not necessarily, well, upgrade this one, but not necessarily get rid of this one. You know, as I say, Ruben likes this one, and I like this one too, although I did use the smaller one for the drilling of the mustard. So yeah, when that comes through, we'll have a good look at that, and you know, a good sort of chat about that. The white mustard that we harvested has come in. It looks very good. Alright, just let us out here, Ruben. Cheers, mate. So yeah, we've as you can see, we've got the Simba. So I think I've been through it before with you, but you know, we've got the cutting discs there that just sort of, if you like, mulch and chop the top, and then we've got the subsoiler legs under behind that you know, go below the ground. So they're about 12 inches down at the moment. So we're getting rid of the pan that's underneath the ground, and then we've got then another set of discs that's just chopping up any clods that the subsoiler legs bring up, and any more trash that has been left by the front discs. And then we've got the packer behind that just consolidates it and firms it all back down. So I mean, you saw this quite a lot in the last video with the drone. There'll be some more footage today. You know, I sort of watch many of the other farming YouTube channels, and sometimes I hear them sort of say about the repetitiveness sometimes of, like, they don't want to show you the same job twice. The way I look at it is, unfortunately, I'm a farmer, and you know, I don't start work on a Monday and all cultivating is finished and done on Monday, and you know, Tuesday we do combining and all the combining is done on Tuesday. Unfortunately, for the next few months, you're going to see a lot of these of this Challenger, a lot of this Simba Solo, because it is what we do our primary cultivation with. You know, just because it is so good, you know, at what it does, and it's so reliable. So I've been round, I've cut all the verges, so I was on top of it this time. Although one job I have noticed that I have forgotten to do is to get George to come and mulch this, but to be honest, you know, we need to get the potatoes in, because you know, obviously wheats are soon going to need to be drilled. We're getting now. We're in the 4th week of September now, so and we haven't got any wheat in at all yet. I'm hoping that Stephen is going to be able to come down and give us a hand with some wheat harvest, but he's busy. He said for the next day or so at another farm. So Stephen runs predominantly New Holland. Webster's are just down the road in the village of Lund, which is literally just probably about half a mile over in that direction. So he's predominantly New Holland, and he has a couple of lorries that also does our grain loading, and as you can see, a couple of Volvo lorries. He's not here, so I can film now because he's not here. And in here is his sugar beet stuff. So Stephen does all of our sugar beet for us. And as I say, he comes and does that. Sometimes we drive the loader, sometimes he drives the loader. We put the sugar beet on the ends of the field just because it's it's easier than trying to cart it back down, especially if it's wet, because obviously you leave a lot of mud on the road then. So we tend to leave it on the end of the field, and because he's got an overloader, if we can put that somewhere where there's no hedge, or where there's no trees at least, we can unload over the hedge then, and the lorries can be on the verge here, and we can do it that way. So it works pretty well for us. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to the yard, because as I say, I'm guessing that the loads of potatoes are going to soon start coming back to the yard. There's only Dad and George on there at the moment, so Dad's having to wait when George is bringing the tractor and trailer back, but Ray couldn't make it first thing this morning. So I told you in the pilot episode, or the first episode, whatever you want to refer to it as, that our waste potatoes goes to a local pig farmer. So Ray is the local pig farmer, and we provide him with, as I say, with all the food that he needs, or all the waste potatoes that he needs. I'm not necessarily going to say it's all of the food that the pigs but it's certainly a good percentage. I would hasten to add, probably. But so not Stephen, Ray is down there at the moment. So he's looking after his pig. So he usually comes in about 10, 11 o'clock if we need him, once he's got all of his kind of work done. But as I say, soon there will either be 2 carts running on the potatoes, but if it's dry enough, then we will want to get the combine up and running. So far so good with the combine. We, touch wood, haven't had no more issues with it. But as I say, I'm going to park this along here, and just here will do fine. And as I say, I'm loading potato stores this morning, so yeah, maybe farm manager, but we have to all get mucked in and do the work. But I keep trying to sort of persuade Dad that maybe we need to take on another 9 workers. The problem is we don't have the work for him in the winter. But yeah, so that's it for this moment in time. But as I say, when when there's some more things to look at, we can I'll bring you back in, or I'll chuck the drone up and there'll be some drone footage, or we'll see what comes around. But bye for now. Right, so we're just on our way now to have a look at Dad and George as they're getting on, and we'll see what's happening down here with them. The potatoes are coming in now. They look a fairly good sample, to be fair, so they're going straight into storage, and then we'll have them in storage for a couple of months, and then when the winter time gets here, that's pretty much what we do over winter, is the potatoes. But we can't use the potato facilities that I showed you in the first episode, because we've just had them gassed and disinfected, ready for this year's crops. Obviously, we don't want no bugs or nothing from last year. Not that there was anything, but or certainly nothing we were aware of anyway. But we don't want anything from last year, getting into this year's crop of potatoes. So everything gets thoroughly cleaned down. We have a firm that comes in and does it. We don't do it ourselves, and that way we know then that, as I say, that a good job is done by all. So, but so I just thought I'd bring you down to show your dad and George. As far as I'm aware, I think I can't remember whether I don't know whether I'll put it into before this or after this. I might do it after, but just in case I do put it in before, I think you've already had some footage of in cab with Dad and also in the cab with George. But we'll get out and have a little look. Just turn the truck off. There we go. We'll get out and have a little look, and then, as I say, what I'll do is I'll then go back to the truck and I'll throw the drone up in the air, and then we can have a look. We are thinking about starting to do some combining, so it's now about 11:30 in the morning. As you can see, they've been getting on well with this field, so I'm really chuffed with this. As I say, we're getting it on well, and Dad kind of wanted to take a step back from farm managing and sort of kind of go back to being a tractor driver, and so he's out here on the potato harvest and or on the harvester, and I've got to be honest, actually it's a massive help having him help us out, because otherwise we would just not be getting that much done. We've got our peas and our beans that need to be done as well, ideally within the next day or so, because they're really starting to suffer now, because they've been in the ground for far too long. But so yeah, and so we've got a 12-ton Martson cart here. We've had these trailers now a few years. We try and keep them clean, tidy, and in good order. But it's obviously looking quite dirty at the moment because, say, we've been busy away, and I think it was not yesterday, but the day before we did have some more rain as well. So that didn't help. That really didn't help the situation. But yeah, otherwise it's going very good. As I say, it's nice. This is only a little field anyway, and this is why we've kind of decided to come down here and get it done, because the other two fields, as you know, are on the back of the farm, so there's no travelling involved, whereas here we are a little way from the farm, so there's a little bit of travelling involved, and we thought that now would be a good time to get these in. As I say, wheat drilling needs to soon start as well. We're getting now towards October. We would have normally have got all of the barley and everything drilled by this point, but again, because of the wet weather and the rain and everything, we're so far behind that we haven't got any of that done yet. So we're trying to get as much different land as cleared as we can. Hence the reason this morning why I went to see Stephen, which he was with. Well, that was, I think, kind of how I opened the vlog for this week. We went to see Stephen and try and get his take on when he will be coming down to help with or to lift the sugar beet, because he is the one that does lift our sugar beet for us. And he's sort of like everybody else. He's only been going about a year, maybe year and a half for Stephen, and he's not quite where he wants to be, but he's getting very busy. And this year he deals a lot with the Websters, which, as I've said before, is up in Lund, about 2.5, 3 miles from this point here where I stand now, but from Stephen probably only about half a mile. But yeah, so he deals with Websters and he gets New Hollands, and he's currently got a brand new New Hollands CR990, I think it is, So he's he's as happy as Larry because he's hired this combine, and with the amount of work that he's getting at the moment, and we're hoping that he might come and do a little bit of combining for us tomorrow. He's thinking that it could be today, maybe tomorrow, when he gets where he is at the moment finished. And then once he's done that, he has said that he'll come and help us out, which is really good because we not only do we need the help, but so to give you, hang on, I'm not walking through the hedge again. To give you some sort of kind of thing about the rain. So we did start the peas and the beans, but as I say, the rain came. So what we decided to do was, which it was a bit of a risk because a trailer, maybe a trailer and a half, came in very wet, or not very wet, but came in wetter than what we would like. But we decided that, and it's a bit of an old sort of farmer's wife's trick, this, and the jury for me is still out whether it works or not, but Dad swears by it, and at the moment, yes, I am farm manager here, but Dad's sort of kind of keeping an eye on me and keeping a watchful and helping me make decisions by making decisions, which is it's very good. But I just want to quickly show you, it's a little way down here. To be fair, we can pop through the hedge here, look. So this is our barley field. No, it's not, it's our oat field. And this is what we've done. So this land down here is quite good land, and it's good draining land. However, we wasn't sure about how much rain we were actually going to get, and we were down here anyway because we were next door. Try and find a gap in the hedge again. Oh, there's one. So we were in here. We were doing the peas, and it started to rain, and we were sort of well into we'd finished the headland, and we were about to start the middle. We didn't have that much left, to be fair, because it's not a particularly big field, this one, but say the rain came and the headland was off, and sort of Dad sort of then was kind of like go into the beans. And he was on the combine, so we're going into the beans, and I was like, it's raining, and he was like, yeah, we'll get the headlands off. So the theory behind it is, and it's the same with the oats as well. The theory behind it is and the crops didn't come in all that more because so the crop was dry when we were harvesting it. It didn't need no drying, and it was about 13% these peas were. So they didn't really need no drying because there's a threshold between 12 and 14. You don't need to dry them, but or anything lower than 12. But 12 is sort of the point. To 12 to 14% is where you would sort of maybe consider drying, but you don't have to. You can get away with not drying them. And when it started raining, of course, Dad's point was, well, the crop isn't going to go from dry to instantly wet or damp or too wet or need drying. So we decided then, because the beans were dry also, because this was going to be the next field that we did, what we were going to do was we were going to harvest these beans, and that would be these done as well, and then we could come down here, get it mulched, get it sort of soloed or ploughed, or if we were going to plough it, we would leave it until the winter, but we could sort of come down here and get on if we wanted to. And so he decided to cut off the headlands. Now the theory behind it is, as I was going to say, so Dad was fairly confident that today, as is the case, and last night as well. So it rained for, say, about an hour and a half. It was about 8:30 in the evening, and we just decided that we would stop, leave it overnight, get back today. It should be dry. Overnight we had quite breezy winds, and then obviously today the wind it's not sort of, there's a breeze, I'll say that much. There is a breeze. There's not much of a breeze because the crop is only swaying ever so gently, so there's not much of a breeze, but there is a little bit. And with the sun, the wind and the sun, because it makes good drying conditions. So the idea is that with the wind, whichever way it came, with the headlands being off, the wind could get all the way through the crop, rather than sort of being buffeted by the hedge and the headlands of the field. So the idea is that because the wind and the sun can get right in, and the headland is gone, and it's traditionally where the headlands would be wettest. They would be the sort of the last to be dry enough to go, because they've got hedge cover and everything else. So we sort of, well, Dad's theory was, if we could get the crop far enough beyond the hedge, then the wind would, the breeze and the sun would dry it out. So that was the theory behind it. But as I say, hopefully, we're hoping, fingers crossed, Stephen should be coming either later today or tomorrow to help us with combining. And what we're going to do is we're going to get Stephen to do the beans, the peas, and this side of the road here. I'm not going to go through the hedge, but the field over there, if I just jump high enough, you can just about make it out. But there's 3 big fields of linseed in there. So the idea and the plan is that we're going to get Stephen to do the linseed as well. We might be able to see it from here. So Stephen can come in and, as I say, do this linseed, and that'll be fantastic. And then next month in October, he's coming back. I think he said the first week of October is when he kind of penciled us in anyway. Because Stephen drills all this. We don't drill our sugar beet. Stephen drills it all. And it is eventually going to be the case that Stephen will look after the sugar beet entirely. So not only will he drill it, he'll also spray it, fertilise it, weed it, do whatever. That's his hope eventually. Hopefully he gets there. Like I said to Stephen, if he remains reliable to us, then we will be using him more and more, not only to help with the sugar beet, which is what he's doing now at the moment anyway, but also to help with any bits of combining that it's sort of always good to have 2 combines. And of course, paying Stephen is cheaper than buying a second combine, or a bigger combine. So as it is at the moment, they've stopped. I wonder if Dad's having trouble with the webbing. We've got a bearing that's quite loose on one of the rollers, and every now and again it doesn't jam up, but it just sort of stops, and then we have to get out and grease it and oil it and God knows what else and then it sort of starts to go again. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to go and see what they're up to, and then if they get moving again, I'll chuck the drone in the air and we'll get some drone footage of the potato harvesting. So I'll see you in a minute.
Saturday, 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 Saturday.
So there we go. We've had a little ride there with Dad on the combine just for a minute or two. Obviously, Dad's now off the Tatey harvester and back onto the combine. So we've had to pack in. Ray's come back to work now, so it's about half one in something like that in the afternoon now. So Ray's here, and we've got George on the other tractor and trailer, and Ruben is still out on the Simba Solo, but so we're getting the barley in, but we've noticed we're getting the oats in, but we have noticed as we've sort of walked through the crop, myself and Dad, and we've got down in a few places, and don't know if you can just make out there, just there, and where else? So just there really that I can see in this bit. We've got some oats that are starting to shed onto the ground, so we were quite hopeful here because we thought that we'd have a really good crop, and we kind of felt that things weren't too bad, that actually it was okay, but you can see here as well that where it's sort of thinned right out, and that's just now stalk. So at the bottom then you can see several grains on the floor there. So the barley, I will keep calling it the barley, the oats have sort of shelling themselves onto the ground. So, and that's just a result of us being probably getting near a month late now for oats. We would be looking at sort of second to third week in August for oats really. Oats would traditionally be one of the last crops that we try and get off the fields, but combinable crops that we get off the field, but it's just been so wet. We've got another field next door. We've got another field next door that is looking the same, unfortunately. But there's one thing for sure: at least the straws fit. There doesn't seem to be, or what we can find and what we can see, there doesn't seem to be any green in the straw. So the straw is fit, and hopefully. As you can see, with the combine needing to unload again going down that way, it's not yielding too bad, but it would have yielded even better if there hadn't have been grains on the floor. But it's half tempting to try and find an industrial hoover and hoover the field to get any of the grains that we've lost. But yeah, as I say, that's the state of play that we're at the moment. But there you go, it's just the year that it is, and unfortunately we're going to have to take quite a few of these losses on the chin. We've basically got no choice. Like I say, the oats this side as well are just the same, but we'll be in here next. I don't know why. Before anyone asks me in the comments why Dad's taken the headlands off this field and that field and then gone back into that field. Sometimes he does it later in the evening if he knows that at some point in the night, like 9-10 o'clock, he's going to finish a field and he's going to go till midnight. Well, in the daylight he might open up the next field because it's easier to do it in the daylight and then sort of go back to it again. But Lord knows why he's done it like that this time. But there we go, he's a law upon himself. So we'll leave him to it, but it's good to to have him in the combine, as I say, because this really does need to get in. And I've rung Stephen again and said, look, can you get here? And he's like, yeah, it's looking like today. So fingers crossed, hopefully we'll get Stephen here at some point. But I think that's going to be it for this update. So thank you all for joining me, and I thank you to the six subscribers that I've got since we started this little farming channel. Very appreciative of the six of you that have decided to to subscribe, and to the kind people that have commented as well. So all that good stuff at the bottom there. Comment as much as you like. Ask any questions. We'll try and answer them if I can. Preferably keep it to farming, But as I say, I'll try and answer them as best I can. And yeah, so as I say, just do what you've been doing. Just tick and subscribe, and click any other buttons that you need to press. Something about a bell or something. George was telling me that I was supposed to remind you of as well. So I don't know, click that bell or hit that bell or whatever. I don't know what it does, but do all that, and yeah. And as I say, hopefully next time you join us, we'll have another combine on the farm. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But of course, with another combine comes, we need more tractors and trailers. And the problem is that Stephen works by himself, so you have to provide the tractors and trailers for Stephen. Or in terms of the sugar beet, he provides the overloader, but we still have to provide the man. So that's what we're sort of looking at doing. So yeah, but I would say that Ray's nearly full now in that trailer. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it here, and thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. A little bit of everything again, and it's not perhaps quite at the moment as in depth as what I would like it to be, but hopefully you can sort of appreciate that we are exceptionally busy, and the opportunity to record is sort of taken as and when it pops up, which is not very often. But now that I'm not putting potatoes in the store, and I'll show you that probably next episode, show you what we've got in there, and yeah, I will hope to see you again. But bye for now.